Good morning.
So Chet is our speaker today, and he has been doing an extensive deep dive into sustainability in preparation for a presentation he made to the master gardeners in Johnson County, or what county was it, Josh, or Chet?
It was, I was speaking to the, I live in Miami County, a much smaller county. And they asked me to do this because they didn't know what sustainability was.
Yeah. And Chet is a longtime employee of the EPA. And Chet, why don't you tell us kind of what your gig was at EPA over the years?
Well, I helped start the solid waste program, the hazardous waste program, the underground storage tanks program, pollution prevention program, Energy Star. I had a variety of responsibilities, but my last set of responsibilities was on climate change, and I was the Region 7 climate change coordinator who was not allowed out of the office the entire Bush administration. I could not go speak about the subject at all. So politics are interesting.
Are we not going to see Chet? No video?
Have you got your video on, Chet?
I think I do. I'm not tech savvy, folks.
Bottom left of your screen, you should see a video and a microphone.
There it is.
There you are.
Sorry. You can see my messy office is also a recycling center and a reading center and other things. I got into sustainability because I had some workings with Kansas State University. They were probably among the 5 leading institutions on sustainability in the early 1980s, early 2000s. They had a director of sustainability in the chancellor's office, and his job was 50% to get sustainability in the university campus, all the buildings, all of the activities, including sports. And the other 50% of his job was to get sustainability in all coursework. And K-State's School of Interior Design, which is one of the best in the country, was an absolute leader in sustainability across the nation. They came up with some of the leading concepts for sustainability in schools. So K-State was a real leader. It was a lot of fun to work with them. They established sustainability, a couple of sustainability organizations across Kansas. They had at one time 23 cities with directors of sustainability that were working to get sustainability in counties and cities. They had annual meetings with leading corporate people, not including Coke, on sustainability. And then along came Brownback, and he forbid the word sustainability to be used in the budget or in any official document of the state of Kansas. That killed their program. The director left within 3 weeks, and the chancellor of K-State quit within 3 months. So sustainability has a real mixed history, and it seems to be a real hot topic in terms of political persuasions. Anyway, that's my background in sustainability. At one time, I ran a forum on sustainability that included a dozen universities in the Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri arena. And we met monthly and talked about sustainability and how to get it in schools and how to get it in programs. And it was wonderful. I mean, one of the most challenging things I've ever done. That's my background.
And you were having some issues with your PowerPoint. So, and you wanted me to drive anyway, so I'm gonna, you've got us up on the screen, right? Chet?
Yep. Yes.
So I'm gonna share my screen and you can just go off of that for,
Okay.
now do you see
There we go.
the PowerPoint? And
Got it.
just say next, and I'll go to the next slide when you're ready.
Thank you. I don't have a great number of slides. What I did was I created a checklist of sustainability ideas. And it goes for about 6 pages, and I divided it into categories. And I only have time to go over one item from each of the 6 categories. So, and then I want to get feedback from you all. So it's as important to me to share with you as it is to get feedback and ideas from you about what we should add to the list of sustainability activities. Okay, sustainability, the first
Hey, Chet,
time.
let me stop you right there real quick. In the last 2 or 3 e-blasts, I sent an attachment that you can download of the long version of sustainability. So you guys can bring that up if you want to follow along with that or not.
It's your choice. It's there for you. It's there for you to use. It's the kind of checklist that you can go through and either check things off that you've already done or prioritize. Beside each item is a little marker where you can prioritize the activities that you would like to undertake. So I tried to make it user friendly, and it's a living document. I want it to grow. Okie doke. Sustainability, first defined by the Brundtland Commission of the United Nations in 1987 as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This is a paraphrase of what Chief Seattle said many years ago. We are borrowing the present from future generations, and we must take care of it. Next. Next.
Okay.
Okie doke. Sustainability has been dissected by numerous university people, organizations, and it has devolved into 3 basic principles. First one's economic, and it's got a bunch of subcategories in it: corporate, fiscal, and social responsibility, circular economy, use of sustainable material choices, provision of continuous research and development. And these are things that we hope that companies will embrace and do. By the way, Volkswagen has come up with a way to recycle lithium. And they're the first people to really do it. And they're saying that their new $2 billion plant to create lithium batteries is going to employ recycling lithium. That's a wonderful thing. Second basic principle is social, and this has got so many subcategories it just goes crazy. Finally, environmental is the last sub-principle of it, and the activities are avoid depletion of natural resources, come up with sustainable energy and production methods, production of wildlife and oceans. And when you talk about sustainability, we're actually talking about saving energy, saving money, saving resources. And that all comes down to saving us money. And by achieving a more sustainable economy, we are actually making our whole world much more efficient and affordable. Next. Greg?
I did.
Got it. Okay, so where do we start? Depletion of natural resources includes energy, water, metals, animal, fish, soil, air, everything we use. Criteria for sustainability would be how to meet our food, product, and transport needs using renewable, reusable, zero waste, and zero carbon dioxide emitting processes, and to do so efficiently. Wow, big charge. Next, the document I've created is a series of things you can do at home. And I've broken it down into what you can do inside your home, how to enhance your environment, your envelope, improving your yard or grounds, changing your habits, upgrading your mobility, and concepts for a new home. And then further activities, I've got a list of resources. Next. Inside your home, this is where we live, love, laugh, and react. It should be a comfortable, affordable, and maintained. Americans are not very good at maintaining their homes, unfortunately. One idea out of the group that I presented is to upgrade your appliances using Energy Star devices. Back in the 1990s, EPA and DOE got together with a couple of industry trade groups and asked them, okay, folks, how do we get you all to produce appliances or whatever you produce, produce the appliances
I'll be right back.
efficient. And what the trade groups came back with is we need competition. We need competition with a result. And so EPA and the trade groups came up with the concept of, okay, we will create a competitive environment where we will advertise for you all the most efficient product in your line based on a set of criteria that will be evaluated by a third party and that you help set up, the trade group set up for the whole industry. And we started off with washing machines. And in the 1990s, all of the washing machines were Wampa way, Wampa the other way, Wampa the other way. That is a terrible waste of resources. When you think about all the energy to get a device to go one way and then turn around and go back the other way, full of almost 200 pounds of water, it's just ridiculous. And if you look at what our ancestors did, when they had dirty clothes, they would go to the creek, they would see which way the creek flowed, and they would face that area and beat the clothes on the creek, and the dirt would go down the creek. So the concept was, if you take a washing machine and make it go round and round, you're effectively duplicating the creek. And in the same time, you're using half of the energy and a third of the water. So the washing machine manufacturers agreed to have all of their devices tested, all their models tested against the criteria that they came up with for washing machines. And then EPA put that list on the web and advertised it with the model, a new model that we would tout being changed every 3 years. And it worked. It was amazing. The competition between the industries became really fierce. And this went on for, all the way through the Bush administration and through Obama's administration. And then all the people in Energy Star got pretty much axed under Trump. And all the data that was available to back it up got a lot of it got thrown away. But in the meantime, EPA and DOE worked with all kinds of industry groups to get Energy Star concept into their product development. So Energy Star now encompasses electronics, appliances, things for electric cars, pools. Next, heating and cooling devices, fans, even building products, naturally water heaters. You can go on the Energy Star website and see the models that are available for each of these categories and their Energy Star ratings with their dollar cost, with features that are on each of the models. There is so much data in this Energy Star website that it's absolutely incredible. And if you're gonna go buy something, for God's sakes, check it out on the Energy Star website to find out what is the most sustainable product today and the most economic and efficient product today. It's all there for you to use. All you got to do is click on Energy Star and go to the category you want and the item you want to check them out. It is amazing what's there, folks, for you to use. And you paid for it with your tax dollars. So why wouldn't you? There's no excuse for not using this database because it's amazing. And it's back online and back working. DOE's put a bunch of resources into it. It's a going Jenny. And if you've got an idea for a category of items you want checked, let EPA know, let me know, and I'll pass it up the line. This is the way to get competitive sustainability embedded in our society. We got to let more people know it's there, and we've got to use it. Next. Okay, looking at the envelope of your house, I have an Energy Star. All our appliances are Energy Star. We have, I've got a concrete house. Let's see, this month's energy bill was $20.06. Typically, April was $12.60. The one thing that I wanted to touch on for the envelope is solar panels. My gosh, I put solar panels on my house 3 years ago, and my average bill for my household energy went from, roughly $160 a month down to $20, maybe $25. I'm sorry, because I spend about $60 in January. But the cost of it was $25,000. I got a 1.99% loan that I paid off in 3.5 years by paying what I would have paid Evergy if I didn't have the panels. I got a federal tax rebate of $11,000. It's now down to 26%. Mine was 30%. And now I have 21.5 years of 90% free electricity without rate increases. I just, that is so cool. I just can't get over it. And why people would fight doing this, I don't understand. I've persuaded several of my master gardeners to put solar panels on their houses, and they are most pleased. We've still got a variety of installers in the Kansas City area. We should use their services. We should do it. I use SunStar. There's a bunch of good ones in Kansas City and the surrounding area. And if you shop around for a loan, there are cheap loans available to pay for it. Gosh, why there are no really good reasons for not doing this, except you've got 300-foot high trees all around your house. That's a problem. But you can go to the web and get a number of solar or renewable energy sources to replace some of your power. So we should be doing this. And the cost of it is down even lower than it was 3.5 years when I did it. Next. Okay, I'll get to your question in just a minute. Okay, next category, home energy auditors. There's only 4 of them left in the Kansas City area, and that stunned me. But we should, when you're talking about looking at your envelope of your house, you really should take the time and spend the meager amount of money that it costs to have your house professionally evaluated. I had my house evaluated after I built it, and it came out that I was extremely tight, didn't have any energy leaks. I closed off my heatilator, and that it was almost too tight. But I knew we've only got 4 of these guys left, and we need to support them so that we can get energy audits done. This is the one true way to get your home evaluated and to get a good sense of what the most efficient things that you can do to your house to make it more efficient and energy efficient. Next, those are the other 2 auditors that are still around. Charlotte's naturally one of them. Okay, moving on, yard or grounds. Feed the birds, folks. We've lost in the United States 30% of our bird population since 1990. That's tragic. Loss of habitat, weird feed cycles of insects being born. It's all making a tremendous difference in our bird populations, and we need to support them. Consider an electric or battery powered mower. Mine cost $300. It operated for 7 years without a repair except for sharpening the blade. I've used it over 310 times with 2 battery charges per cutting at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. And its cost, okay, 2 battery charges per cutting at 11 cents per kilowatt hour each. And and it took 0.115 kilowatts for each charge. So the total cost for my cutting my grass using my mower, my electric mower, was 0.0129 cents per charge, or 0.0258 cents per cutting. That's incredible. I mean, why would you want a mower that uses 2 pints of gasoline at $3 each for 75 cents per cutting? Well, it makes no sense at all. My mower costs $300. An equivalent gas engine would have cost $150. So my savings in cutting my yard is 72 cents per cutting, which adds up to a savings of $223. So the net savings over the 7 years is $73. And My mower has never been in the shop for anything. Always turns on when I push the button, and it keeps on giving me great service. I just can't imagine. I've owned a lot of gasoline engine mowers. I've hanged on them. I hate them. Anyway, an example of what you can do to be more energy efficient in your yard and grounds. Next. Okay, change habits, easy money, recycle. Use your recycle center, and well, I use the one in Paola. There's a big one operated by Olathe. Several of the eastern cities in Kansas City have stopped their recycle center, but Kansas City, Missouri still has 3 of them. Overland Park has a very nice recycling center located off 135th. No, 119th, I'm sorry, behind the fire station. No reason to not recycle. Reuse, always a good idea to reuse things. Restore them, take the time, fix things. Saves you money, saves you energy. Donate things. We're downsizing stuff, and we're donating to Habitat, thrift stores, Salvation Army. Use your HHW. I don't know how many people know that, but all the counties in the Kansas City area have household hazardous waste facilities. The one here in Paola, you have to make an appointment, no big deal. But they've got them, you should use them. Never put hazardous materials in the trash. Use your electronics recycling facility. We have one here at Lake Mary. They vary. If you'll go to the Mid-America Regional Council, they maintain a list of all of the recycling facilities that are currently operating in the Kansas City area and what they take. They update it almost daily if it requires that. And there are recycling, electronic recycling facilities in the Kansas City area, and we should use them. Next, upgrade your ride. This is one that just blew me away. I bought a hybrid electric vehicle that I plug into my normal power supply here at home. The federal tax rebate on these things still varies between $2,500 and $7,500. Parts to wear out. An EV has 280 moving parts on average. An internal combustion vehicle has 2,800 to 3,000 moving parts. So which one's going to wear out faster? It's obvious. Battery life is 9 to 12 years. Mine's 2014. Mine's 8 years old right now, and I've got 145,000 miles on it, and it's doing great. Okay, let's look at fuel. This is something very few people are doing, have ever done. 33 miles per gallon I picked a number. 33 miles per gallon is generous. At $3 a gallon means that you're spending $9 to travel 100 miles. 33 kilowatts per 100 miles times 11.5 cents per kilowatt gives you $3.80 per 100 miles. That is a significant savings, better than half, way better than half. Your car's going to last longer. My car has never been in the shop for anything. I have to buy tires and get the gas changed.
The gas change.
I mean, the oil changed. I'm sorry. I'm reading a question. I'll get to it in just a minute. Why not upgrade your ride? I don't understand why people are still buying combustion vehicles. We had a whole program on this, talking about Kansas City Power and Light putting in energy recharge stations. Kansas City Power and Light just announced a new program to encourage people to put home energy recharge stations in your on your property, and they will pay you between $250 and $500 for if you would do that to support EV. And why not take advantage of it? Why not get it done? Why not? Okay, next slide. Concepts for your new home. There's a whole bunch of concepts for homes. Shauna Zahner is one of our experts. She will help you design a home. That's what she really prefers to do. If you need to flush out some ideas, Shauna can help you with it anytime. Look at the ideas if you're looking for a new home to pick out. Craig Wolf designed passive solar homes way back when, and he's still got great ideas on it. There's always room for adding great ideas to concepts for your new home. I can say Shauna is not part of the Zahner metal fabricating business. Next slide. Explore the opportunities. I have listed resources to go and look at. Last item I want to cover under this is, since Trump's gone, EPA and DOE have gotten together and they are trying to recover the data on sustainability principle ideas like are on my list. At one time, they had monetized them to figure out what the average savings you would get from, for instance, replacing your windows or adding insulation to your attic. They had monetized this. Somehow during the Trump administration, all that data disappeared. They're trying to recover it. They're trying to create a massive database of sustainability principles and what you can expect to receive in terms of economics. It's something, the name of it's going to be something like Desiree, and EPA and DOE are working on it. Unfortunately, they only have 6 people working on it, so they don't expect to get it finished before a draft in 24 and get something out final in 25. But they're trying to redo the process they were they were putting together way back when. And so anyway, you can watch for that in the future. Questions, ideas from you all. It's your turn. Who's got an idea for a sustainability principle that, oh, okay, go on to the next slide. Burning coal, these are statistics. Burning coal, 2,000 pounds of CO2 is released for every megawatt hour of operations. Burning natural gas saves you half of that. Burning gasoline releases 19.4 pounds of CO2 for every gallon of fuel you use. Wind, no fuel required. Solar, no fuel required. Think about it. Okie doke. Now it's your turn. Anybody got a question, got a comment, something to add to the list?
Do you have, or does anybody have information on how long the rebates for solar voltaics as well as autos, how long those rebates are going to last?
Gosh. I don't have it handy. I'm sorry.
Ken or Charlotte, do you guys know?
I think on the electric for photovoltaics, it's 26% for this year, and next year it goes to 22%, and then I think they phase it out after that.
That sounds right.
Yep,
And
that's
it's-
correct. I put that in the chat. It's 26% through this year, 22% through 2023, and then there's no more after that, the way the law reads.
Wow.
Okay. And then with cars, it varies with how many electric cars the dealer has already built. I think
Right.
there's 200,000 per what brand? I'm not sure.
Per model.
Per model? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like the Chinese, if they come in here with electric cars, which they should soon, and let's say South Korea or whatever, then they will probably get the tax credits. But most of the domestic companies and Toyota have burned through them pretty much. I think Tesla has too.
Yeah, Tesla doesn't have one anymore.
Is renewing those rebates part of the Build Back Better bill?
Yes, it was part of it, and I think they were counting on that among other things, and that's why it's kind of sad that didn't really get off the ground. And who knows what's going to happen with that?
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening there. No one does.
Is there a link or a website that shows what the current situation is for each of the models?
Yes, there is. Oh, shoot.
While he's looking for that on the screen, I've got the long document that you got a link to in your notifications. So this is what Chet has come up with as a deep dive into sustainability, and you can use this document as and at the end of it there's a bunch of links too. So that's a document that you guys can use as a resource going forward.
Will we be able to get a copy of these slides after the presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
These will be up on the web, in a week or so.
All right. Including the recording?
Yes, the recording is going to be up and the documents will be up.
Okay.
And the report will be on the website.
We'll have a link. This is what I recommend anyway, Ken. We have a link to the PowerPoint, a link to the this document that's on your screen right now, and then of course a link to the presentation itself.
Sure, we can do that. I would like to point out, while we've got everybody online here, that if you have a pencil or you're online, well, of course we're online, but there's a local group called the Mid-America Electric Auto Association, MAEAA.org, MAEAA. And it's free to join. And it's not like a typical club. They meet once a month for a meeting on Sunday afternoon from about noon to 2 or noon to 1:30, depending on how it's going on. But they all talk about battery recycling or where you can get the best deal or, things like that. So if you're interested in EVs, it's a good group to join. And they also know about who has tax credits still and that kind of thing, to answer your question.
Yeah, we were at the Shauna and I and George were at the fair, the climate fair at Unity village about maybe a month ago. And they were at that, and they had a list of all the vehicles that are currently on the market and their characteristics. And I can't lay my hands on that now. George, you don't have that handy, do you? Because I got it off a website, and it was a list of all the vehicles that were currently on the market, the EV vehicles, and information about them. And there's a website for it. You got it?
Yes, it's right here. I'm looking for the website.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I have, can you see this?
Not very well.
Well, if you put it on the main screen, you can sort of see it. But
Does it have-
anyway, it
What's
has,
the-
it has both local area and the United States. It has one category, Midwest EV info from March 2022, and then it has the US EV list.
Do you know the URL for that?
I do not. I don't see it on this.
Oh, I thought-
Okay,
well-
here it says photos and information sources, manufacturer's website, and www.fueleconomy.gov.
Oh,
Okay, and then the latest version is www.evinfolist.com.
Ah,
Can you give me that last one again?
www.evinfolist.com. I guess I could type it in if it would make it easier.
No, I got it.
Okay,
see, I'm going to add that to my list of resources.
great.
I wanted
Thank
to do a clarification there for you, Chet. The list of energy auditors that you had is for energy raters and auditors. There are more energy auditors in the Kansas City area than just those. I don't know how many, but so somebody's going to watch this and say, wait a minute, that's not right. The
Yeah.
energy rater is a little different than an energy auditor. And that's probably, we've talked about it in the past, but for those of you that don't know, if you want to have a home certified as Energy Star, or you want to get your energy tax credits for your home, things like that, you need a HRES rater, home energy rater. If you
There are more
interested-
energy raters in the Kansas City area too. There's at least 2 more that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well,
So-
let's get a complete list of them if we can.
Yeah, I know
a
Green
resource.
Cat was at that display that we were at. They had a booth
Right.
set up at the climate fair thing.
Right, and they would probably know too. So Chet, you might, or if you guys want to follow up on that or somebody, we don't,
I'll send you what I know about for sure.
yeah, just clarify
Sure.
that too. There's 2 distinct groups in the United States. You've got the home energy raters, which is under ResNet, technically, or Residential Energy Services Network, which is the group we've been working with all these years. Then you have another group that's just energy auditors. And when I say just, is they're more limited in what they can do, which I just pointed out. They can't do tax credits and things. And they're
Right.
under BPI, which is the Building Performance Institute. But they're kind of in competition, but not really. Building Performance Institute concentrates on the side of more or less existing homes and technologies like that. And unfortunately, ResNet's concentrated in the past on new homes, almost too much. And you could still do existing homes, but a lot of people are confused between a rater and auditor because they think auditors are existing, raters are new homes only. There's it's a little bit hard to understand unless you're in the business. But bottom line, there are auditors and raters in Kansas City, and there may be more than like 20 or more altogether. We don't know, but there's more than just the 4. Just to be
Well,
clear.
on the HRES website, we should have a list of those folks that are available to the best.
That's
of our-
true.
That's an excellent idea, yes.
And
Regarding the issue of hybrid type cars or EVs, I bought a 2006 Honda hybrid that had a bad battery, and it was still drivable because the engine would keep it, but intermittently fail. And then last year I put a new battery in it. It cost me $1,800. but the car drives like a dream. And I recommend, I don't be too afraid of buying purchasing an old hybrid that needs a battery.
Yeah.
Because there's a company that does an aftermarket battery over here in Merriam, and it was $1,800. I mean, the dealer wanted $3,000. And
Mhm.
so I sat over there for a half an hour in their lobby, and they changed my battery, and it changed my life. So anyway, and
Maybe-
the other comment I would like to make is that my friend Marcia Dickinson would be just heartfelt hearing all this discussion, Chet. So
Yep. Yes, she
That's,
was a
she's-
marvelous.
she was a wonderful person at EPA, and you all are. I'm afraid I had the great fortune of getting to know her rather well. Talk to you later.
Wonderful memories with Marcia. Okay, any other ideas? Things we need to add? Well,
Yeah,
Well-
I had one thought.
yeah,
As far as sustainability, I have an old house that's not all that conducive for solar power. I need a new roof, and there are a whole lots of barriers in doing so. But to push for commercial roofs, the number of commercial roofs that could use solar power and provide a generalized regional solar power supply, I bet we're less than 1% of using this resource, and they're just dragging. It would be to me, it would be appropriate to try to find tax credits or whatever to get industries to do this, even if they're not going to use the power, even if they're going to just put it back on the grid and take the credit. So I've tried with the company I work for, I've tried to ask them to do it at all their facilities, and they just drag their feet. They don't want to, they just tell me we're not in that business, But anyway, that's my thought.
I agree totally. I agree totally. It's a waste of a resource. By the way, Kansas wind power can provide 24% of the nation's energy needs, transport and power. I guess the one concept that I didn't get across very well, to solve climate change, we have to go to an all-electric energy source in this country as fast as absolutely possible. If you look at the statistics, the cost of power at a wind tower is roughly 2 cents a kilowatt. The cost of electricity at a solar installation is roughly a dime. Now, the costs have come down so dramatically. But if we want a truly efficient economy, we've got to go to an all-electric power system that doesn't use any fossil fuels. And we got to get there. We got to get there as quick as possible.
Did you see the paper this
Folks,
morning?
climate change is messing up our climate so dramatically.
You're totally right, Chet. And the LA Times has a report that no new houses in California can be built and have gas appliances or gas heaters in them, which is a good step in that direction. And the other
Kansas-
thing about natural gas too is I've been working on a project to convert natural gas to acetylene, and they're talking about using methane or natural gas. One of the key things in natural gas is just not pure gas. It has benzene in it and other things, and we're unaware. Even though they didn't discharge CO2 out in the atmosphere, the other products of combustion are going out the stack on any gas heating system.
Keith Fouts made a comment that community solar, for those of us who don't have the right roof or have too many trees or some other reason structurally why you couldn't have photovoltaics. But community solar is a way to use another typically a utility's offerings to buy certain panels, as many as you want, to provide solar power for your home. And I don't know exactly how that works. We probably ought to do a deep dive on that in one of our presentations. And we probably ought to be encouraging utilities who aren't offering community solar to offer it. Does anyone know the status of utilities that are or are not offering community solar?
I subscribe to Arcadia Power 50%, and initially they were offering wind power. Now it's both solar and wind. And I chose that over Evergy's solar subscription program because it seemed to me that they were going to charge a premium for using solar.
Mhm.
And it didn't seem like it didn't seem like to me to switch for that purpose, although it encourages local utility scale solar. It still was not for me individually. It didn't seem like a good investment, although a lot of people I know did it anyway because they wanted to encourage that. And I think Evergy is now looking at doing a second solar farm. That's rough detail, and maybe somebody has more information about that. The other thing I wanted to mention is how many live in Johnson County in this group? The Johnson County Commissioners are reconsidering the regulations for utility scale solar at the West Gardner, the proposed West Gardner wind farm. And there was an advisory committee that tried to basically create poison pills to make it not worth doing or to restrict its full capacity. And the Kansas Interfaith Action and Climate and Energy Project, both of them in Kansas, are taking, they're soliciting comments to the county commissioners, which meet again on the Thursday morning, June 9th, to reconsider the advisory board. They met several weeks ago and told the advisory board to go back and review this. They came back with the same unchanged regulations, restrictive regulations. So now they're going to take more commentary on June 9th, like I said. But the Climate and Energy Project is soliciting not only, they have a tool for sending postcards or also doing emails, but also doing personal recordings, which they say that's the most effective way. 3-minute personal recordings, 3 minutes or less, to which they will submit to the county commissioners. And next Thursday night, they're having an event at some restaurant where they're going to give an update and also record more people. And I'll be sending an email out on that to those of you who are on my email list, which I think Chet is and Craig is.
I
And
think
okay,
I get it too.
anyway, that's what I got to say.
Hopefully I will see it. And when I do, it'd probably be appropriate if we would send it out to our members as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Like I
Craig,
said,
one thing
there is an event this coming Thursday night, June 2nd, and I'll get that out early in the week. Enough for people to respond to, act on it.
Good. Thank you.
Was somebody
One thing I'll-
Go
One thing I'll
ahead.
mention, I think it was 6 years ago with HRES, I went on a tour in Independence, Missouri of a community solar site. I think it was maybe 3 megawatts in size, but just letting you know, there's options out there. They're in the area. There's probably some tours that could be arranged if you look for it. But you know, it's a lot of good information. It's interesting to see it. And that was before I was in the solar industry, and now I install these systems myself. So
I went on that tour and kind of followed it in the news, and I am like way naive compared to all you guys, but it actually almost bankrupted, or in the news, the City of Independence, because they owned it and it's been shut down. is my understanding, and considered a one of the worst investments that the city ever did.
Really?
Be interesting to follow up on. I know in Minnesota it's been quite popular, but
It must be a bad installation then too, because there's been good installations proven on lots of places for years now. So
Yeah, I think that's what I say. I don't think it was the specifically the solar. It's just so there's got to be a more ball of wax to the story. But I just remember it reading something, and whether it's been totally revamped and revived, I don't know. But it ended up costing the city of Independence more than it gained, and so it was. I mean, this was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I read this, that it was a pretty big black eye.
I'll mention the 3 things that they're trying to force the West Gardner Farm to adhere to. It's basically 3 things to discourage use. Conditional use permits of 20 years instead of 25 years or more, which is the industry standard. To a 2-mile buffer instead of a 1-mile buffer. And allowing or limiting the size of the facility to 1,000 acres instead of more. So that's what the current movement is trying to oppose, is those 3 limitations.
Good for them.
Keep it up.
Yeah, that'll kill it.
Right, that's the whole idea. Yeah.
Mhm.
It won't make it, especially going to 20 years instead of 25. The industry standard is 25 for both wind and solar, I think.
Well, that's the life of the panels.
Yeah.
The guaranteed life of the panels. We
Right,
don't know what the life of the panels is
Right.
yet.
Okay, anything else? And if
Thank you.
anybody has any thoughts about things that we want to encapsulate in this presentation when it goes online, let us know. Like I think we need the URL, need to put the URL for those vehicles that are on the EV list, that type of thing.
I would just like to make a comment. I put 1,000 square foot array of solar panels in my backyard, and I produce 80% of my electric power with that. That's half of my house footprint. I live in a 2,000 foot house. I compared that with John Lutter's solar panels. He has basically the same size of array, and he puts out twice the power. Mine is, because I live in an old neighborhood and we do have big trees all around. So I'm losing about half my power, but I'm still getting 80% of my electricity. So it's a more efficient use of my backyard. I don't grow enough food to feed myself, so, but at least I can produce my own energy.
Very good.
Yeah. And the way I did it wasn't the most economical, but I did it anyway.
Thank you, Chet. Anything else before we go?
Make sure to get all this set up on the website here within a week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll send out a link when it is all ready to go. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Chet. Appreciate it.